Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Dog Talk. So here we are. It is August 25th, 2020, and I don't have a guest tonight, so that means it is a training night, which we believe that there is no such thing as never training. So you should always remember that training is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Even though you don't think you're training, you are training. So once again, just like any other week, I want to make sure that anybody tuning in is fully aware that they can go ahead and post any comment below. I can read them on the screen, and we will be able to answer any questions that come up. We are here tonight to talk about some different things that are coming up recently, more often than not, probably because with the COVID restrictions, more dogs and families have been home together and been staying with each other and been on top of that. So now we're starting to see different behaviors and things. So we're going to be covering some of the important skill set that needs to be taught. So again, while I'm training tonight or docking at any point in time, feel free to post a comment, like, share on your page. It means the world. The more information we get out to other people, the better things are, okay? So getting the message out is always a crucial thing because education never stops. It just keeps growing. So that's one of the big and crucial things is we want to move forward with. So my son is here. He wants me to help him with something. I got it right here, buddy. There you go. All right. You're welcome. All right, so let me get back to that. Sorry about that, guys. So my son Hunter needed me to fix one of his minifigs. So now we're good to go. We're gonna jump into some of the training to get things rocking and rolling. So let me share my screen. And what we're going to be talking tonight is a little bit about muzzle training. So this is actually something that's come up recently a lot with dogs that are showing a level of aggression or stress with veterinarian clinics, things like that. So muzzle training, is, wearing a muzzle is not just for the aggressive dog. So this is something that we really have to take into perspective here and really start to realize that it is not about, locking the dog in and putting him into those positions. A lot of people see muzzles as aggressive dog only. That is not true. Muzzle training is a great way of giving yourself a level of security, making sure that your dog can't accidentally do something that could cause injury or problems, lawsuits, medical issues, things like that. So taking the time to train your dog to feel comfortable and stress-free in a muzzle, you really can't go wrong. That's why I'm probably going to stay on this subject for a very long time. So we want to think about why muzzle training is important, and that's one of the main keys, is that you want to take the time to really build your dog up, make sure they're comfortable, make sure that they're not stressed out the entire time, because that's what's going to be important into getting them into that next level. All right, so let's get started. So first off, the muzzle that we normally recommend and we use a lot of is the Baskerville muzzle. So that's why you can see that on the screen. It's a Baskerville muzzle. It's a soft plasticky muzzle, but it allows full ventilation, full mouth movement. You're able to feed the dog treats. They can eat, they can drink, but obviously you can't, or it'll help prevent you from being bit. So why and when you would decide to train a muzzle is a lot of times for chewing, licking, biting, pica. These are main things that come up a lot of times. But again, it's also the safety of your veterinarian clinic. That way you never have to worry about your dog having any issues going into the vet clinic. You can always render aid if necessary. And again, it doesn't create unnecessary stress. Types of muzzles out there, you have basket muzzles, and then you also have the glove muzzle. Glove muzzles are typically the ones that you see if you ever gone to the veterinarian clinic. It's the one that wraps around their mouth and prevents them from opening their mouth completely, but they can drink water through it because obviously the front is open. So that is an option for you as well. But we prefer the basket muzzle because that way the dog is able to fully pant. They can drink water. They can eat. They can bark. They can feel that they're not really being handcuffed or missing out on something. You can see their full normal behavior when they're comfortable with it. So with the many different types of muzzles, materials that are made from, there's plastic, leather, cloth, different configurations, openness. It really depends on what your preference are, but when it comes down to it, Baskerville muzzles, they have a good variation of sizes. They fit most dogs, very easy to train, and that's what we're going to use in this training tonight. So we want to, step one, real simple stuff, is you want to just fill the muzzle up with treats inside the muzzle. You can line it with peanut butter. You can throw food into it. You can feed different things, different stuff like that. So essentially teaching them to put their mouth directly into it, very nice and comfortable, is a great way of getting them introduced to the muzzle. It makes it easy. The worst thing you can do is literally throw that on their face and buckle it on them and tell them tough, right? Nobody feels comfortable with being tied up. Nobody feels comfortable being restricted. So the more you get the dog to put in their face naturally and get fed through food or treats, or put their mouth in there and start licking peanut butter, they're doing it themselves. So just holding it there and letting them do that. You want to repeat that step multiple times until you see them doing it pretty much automatically. All right. Once you see them start doing it automatically is when you want to do step two. All right. That's where you state the command muzzle up or whatever you want it to be. And as you say it, you say, yes, good boy, and you marker the behavior. So step one is just offering food or treats. That way they get comfortable going into it. They get comfortable going through those points. Once you see that comfort's there, that hesitation is gone, that is when you want to start naming it. So in the quote of Michael Ellis is, don't name it until you love it, meaning don't allow your dog, don't start saying muzzle up before your dog ever has any idea what you're asking them to do. Okay? So once you start seeing the behavior that you're looking for, that is when you want to go ahead, name it, muzzle up, or mask up, or whatever you might want to call it in that case. And again, when you think about that, as you can see in the different photographs, you can see, I'm going to go back one, you can see how the muzzle's over here, we're going to state the command muzzle up, okay? The dog's going to put their mouth into it, and once they're nice and comfortable and you're eating a kibble, that's when you're going to start moving the straps over to their head, all right? And that's the easiest way to watch one of those things. So as you can see in the video right here, and what I'll do is I'll make it a little bit larger for you. And you allow the dog to eat right out of it. You can see the dog is fully energetic into putting his mouth in there. He feels comfortable about it. There's no hesitation, and that's where you want to start feeling the next point. So from here, now that the dog is completely ready to rock and roll, he has no problem putting his mouth into the muzzle, we would go into the next step. That next step is really simply I typically like to go to the next step of utilizing a longer treat. So using either like a pepperoni stick, a freeze-dried turkey, something along the lines that's going to be able to hold in your fingertips and go through the muzzle. That way, as they're munching on it, because they're nice and comfortable in it, you would hold it, they'd be eating it, and then this is where you would start to go ahead and put your straps on your dog, okay, and getting them comfortable to it. So step 4 would be is you saying your command, they're munching on it, and this is where you're going to start buckling the muzzle onto your dog. So that is muzzling 101. Really easy stuff. Remember, you don't want to speed through this, okay? The worst thing you can start doing is seriously just zipping through the training, okay? You really want to take your time. You don't want to muscle through it. You don't want to speed through it. It's got to be easy. Just easy, right? So that's one of those big ones there, because we think about it a lot of times. We don't have patience. We're trying to do a million things, but we never think of the worst case scenario, right? So taking the time to get your dog used to the muzzle, so that way if you, gosh forbid, need to get them into the emergency room, a veterinarian care, or you want to take them for a walk and they're just in an uncomfortable scenario. Again, we are coming out new, more and more freedoms are coming back, and we're going to be able to do things with our dogs. They might be under socialized. We want to make sure that we are taking that into perspective. All right, so we got about 20, 30 more minutes of the show left, and that was muzzle training. So whoever you guys, once again, if you have any questions or thoughts, concerns, you're working with your dog, you want to know more, if you know a friend, a family, or anybody else that might be interested in being on the show, I would love to have them come on, talk about their business, talk about how they're pet friendly, talk about how what they may be adjusted to help COVID-19 with pets, family, and so on and so forth. So please feel free. But I'm going to continue going on a few big topics that came up this week from clients. One of which was my dog attacks the vacuum. This is one of my favorites. Now, the only downside is I didn't make a PowerPoint for this because, in irony, it was the big topic of today. So a bunch of my clients that I was working with today was a huge thing was the vacuum. We were doing a couple of lessons through Zoom calls, so I was able to record them. But what happens when I post them on here, when I speak, it flips to me, so you don't actually get to watch the dog learning. It flipped to me when I was talking to her, giving her the information on how to train. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my best to give you the steps on how to get your dog to stop eating the vacuum. It's very easy, okay? So what you're going to do, step 1, ready? You're going to take your vacuum out, and with your vacuum out, you're going to start to vacuum the floor. Do not plug it in. Do not turn it on. Just pretend to start vacuuming a certain little area. Again, you're not trying to do deep cleaning of your house. You're just trying to move the vacuum back and forth. As your dog comes over wondering what you're doing, they're going to be looking at you with a WTF or this or that, the other thing. Don't worry about it. The second your dog goes near the vacuum, stop. Stop, freeze. Do not let the vacuum move. Your dog will back away from the vacuum, and then you will then continue with that process. Once you see that your dog is now ignoring the vacuum, okay, you will then plug it in, or if you have a cordless, then you will then turn it on and begin the same process. Do not try it again. I'm repeating this. Do not try to vacuum your house during this. You have to take the time to train your dog, to desensitize your dog to this behavior before you start trying to clean your entire house with the dog present vacuuming. So what you do, again, now the vacuum is on, you will continue that process. You will go ahead, you will start to vacuum that one little spot. If your dog comes near the vacuum, you will turn it off immediately and hold the vacuum still, freezing. Your dog will then let go, back away, and then you will literally repeat these behaviors. So once again, the dog backs up, you turn it on, you continue to vacuum. Once again, you will freeze once the dog touches it, and sooner or later your dog will completely quit. Now, here are some of the tips that I have to tell you. Number 1, do not open your mouth. There is no need whatsoever to communicate to your dog during this drill. You do not need to tell them no. You do not need to tell them stop it. You do not need to yell at them. You do not need to do anything except freeze. Okay? Freeze. Your dog is a creature of attention and affection. They love and thrive on any form of attention coming from you. Which means if you are yelling at your dog to stop barking, stop biting, stop anything, you are rewarding the behavior, and your dog will repeat the behavior. Now, I'm sure you've YouTubed, you've Googled, you've asked people questions, and they will tell you how you want to tell your dog no. And I'm telling you right now, you do not need to say the words no. You need to focus on the word yes. So in this case, by freezing, the dog is learning that their behavior is getting the vacuum to die. And that, in turn, kills the game. And because the game is dead, it is boring and not fun for them. And if it's not fun for them, they are going to walk away. It's boring. Then the vacuum will come to life. And because their brain is telling them that they want to watch the vacuum, they want to see it move back and forth. That's the game to them. They're predatorial creatures. They're trying to figure out a way to get the vacuum. And they only want to get it if it's alive. It's not fun if it's dead. Who wants to play with, nobody wants to do that. So remember, that's the kind of thing you have to think about. And the second the dog is doing those behaviors, that's when you can go ahead. If you have a treat pouch, you can throw them a treat. Once they start completely ignoring the vacuum, you can literally throw them a treat. So then your dog will learn, oh, this is really easy. If I leave the vacuum alone, treats get thrown in my general direction. I love this. So this is a great way of teaching these things. And once again, non-verbally communicating to the dog is actually communicating to the dog because you're showing them these wanted behaviors. And that's the key that you're looking for. Okay, I got a comment here from Meredith. That was awesome. Started muzzle training. So she writes, this is awesome. I started muzzle training my dog today. So this is very timely. Thanks for the great info. Hey, no problem, Meredith. Thanks for the comment. It means a lot. Like I said, guys, if you do place comments, it lets me know that people are watching. which I don't get to see anybody coming on here. So again, it lets me know that the information's coming out, and it motivates me to keep going. So we have vacuum. We know how to introduce the vacuum and introduce the muzzle today. We heard about some of those big things. Is there anybody watching right now that might have some questions, thoughts, concerns about what else that's going on with their new dog, puppy, programs, how to pick a trainer, anything that's going on right now that in their personal life that is watching? It would be great. Just go ahead and post your comments below, and I will go ahead and I will answer them once I see them pop up on my screen. Till then, I'm going to look for something else that we can go over tonight. You know, dog training is really one of those neat things because it's constantly changing. So when I love when people tell me that, yeah, I used to train my dog, 15, 20, 30 years ago, whatever, and, they get stuck in that way. And I got to tell you, every day I wake up, I always look to meet somebody new, to learn something new, because it's constantly changing. I mean, I love training. I mean, I absolutely love it. Because it's one of those things where you're constantly learning something new, something that you can change, maneuver, and move into the next thing. So we do have a next question. So Michelle McDowell asks, jumping on people. So Michelle, it's a great and easy way of doing this. Is that one is we do a drill called the name drill. It's a 4-point command. So teaching your dog a 4-point command, which means correction, direction, recall, and focus. It's a easy command to teach. And what you do is that for what you're going to do is around 5 to 10 times in a row, and then you'll break that up to like 20, 30 times a day, is you call your dog by name one time. So, for example, if your dog's name is Jeff, your dog's name is going to be Jeff in this scenario, you're going to say, Jeff. Jeff's going to look at you. You're going to say, yes, and you're going to drop a treat on the floor. He comes over, he eats the treat, and you pet him. What's going to happen is Jeff is now going to learn that every time he hears the name Jeff, is to run back to you, because that's going to get him a treat and a pet. So anytime he does something bad, you could say Jeff, and Jeff's brain is literally going to tell him to run back to you. So when he goes to jump on somebody, you could say Jeff, and then Jeff will literally turn around and come running back to you, which will prevent jumping on people and prevent you being embarrassed. Because one of the funny things about this, I'm sorry, there's going to be a time break on this one. Jumping on people. Remember, I just talked about this in a crazy way. Is this? Dogs are creatures of attention and affection, right? If you take the time, teach the name drill. Jeff, yes, good boy. Jeff comes running back, right? Here's what's ironic about jumping on people is this. People want to scream at their dog, no, get down, off, and all this other stuff. Then they want to teach a command down and off the counters and all this other stuff. And they don't realize that your dog can only have one action per word. So if lay down and get down, you just confuse the dog, that now you just contradicted your other training. But on top of that, here's what's crazy about this one. And this is not picking on you. This is not anything towards you, Michelle. I'm getting to my the training is just simply calling the dog back will prevent it. You can also teach your dog directly sit and wait for people to pet them. You can have your guest pet the invisible dog, and your dog will literally go to where the invisible dog is. So if they bend over and start petting the invisible dog in front of them, your dog won't jump on them. Your dog will literally go and sit right in front of them where the invisible dog is because they want the attention. But a lot of times, this is what happens when our guests come over. The first thing they do is they walk into our house. Your dog runs over. They jump on your guest. Your guest pets the dog and then yells at you. Mike, get your dog off me. Why are you petting my dog then? Don't pet my dog, right? If you're petting my dog while he's jumping on you and you're yelling at me, I'm not the one jumping on you. So what happens is they technically rewarded your dog. And then you, in turn, because you're embarrassed, you yell at your dog. So now your dog has to ask themselves a question. Who's more valuable in this scenario? Is it your guest or is it mom or dad? It's typically the guest, because the guest is the one rewarding your dog while you are scalding the dog. And I guarantee you, if you were the dog, you would go towards the one giving you the attention and affection, the love. So that's why the dog is going to repeat that behavior. Make sense? Really easy stuff. So the best way to prevent it is one of two ways. One, I like the name drill. So that way, if my dog is running over to do anything I don't like, instead of me telling them no, I tell them their name. So Jeff starts running towards the door to jump on my guest. I say, Jeff. Jeff turns his head. Yes, good boy. He comes running back. I pet him. I have him. He's no longer jumping on my guest. I can then tell him to sit and have my guest introduced to him. I could teach step 2 or another option would be is you could teach a place command where you can place your dog on a staircase or on an item close to the front door where they can meet your guests. And obviously step 3 is to get your guest, you just tell your guest to pet the invisible dog and your dog will literally learn. That is the key to those places. So by telling your dog to sit, they would be petted, right? So always make sure that you're giving your dog an option, not a correction. Your dog is trying to figure out the fastest way to get what they're looking for, which is an attention and affection reward, right? So if they can get petted and get some yeses and some physical attention in that direction, they're going to do whatever it takes to get that repeated. If you are saying no to your dog, then you are essentially giving them that during negative behaviors. So I'm not telling you to ignore bad behaviors. I'm telling you to direct to positive behaviors. So remember, anything your dog is doing that is unwanted, you need to direct to wanted behavior. So that way their muscle memory gets locked into what you want them to do instead of what you don't want them to do. Michelle, I know that was a very long-winded answer. I do hope that does help. That is the quickest and easiest way I can break it down, obviously, but there's way more stuff to it. We do have different programs available, including Dog Owner University, to break down even more and more detailed stuff. So, again, getting into this further, again, if there's any other questions, thoughts, concerns, I know I went on my little rant. I got a little excited there, but that's really just because, I mean, my thing is all about the dogs. And it's sometimes that we find ourselves as humans either fighting, arguing, trying to stake a flag in the ground to make ourselves right. And the truth be told is that we will repeat behaviors that give us the attention and affection. Dogs repeat behaviors that repeat attention and affection. And when we all understand that everything that we do out here is for love, then you will be surprised to find out how quickly all wanted behaviors come into place. The other big thing is that people have been coming up to me wondering about different methods or methodologies of training. So I want to talk about something called interactive training versus non-interactive training. This is a big one to me because a lot of people never realize how much training is going on when they don't have the bag of tricks with them. So, for example, your dog is running around the house and is doing whatever it wants, and you don't have the treat pouch. The big question that I always ask people is, do you think you're training at that time? And most of the time the reply is no. That training only happens when they get their treat pouch, get their equipment on the dog, and they purposely go out and do it. That is interactive training. That is when you are teaching your dog a direct skill, such as sit, down, come, place, stay, reverse, or direct command. That is interactive. You are directly interacting with the dog to teach them a new skill. Non-interactive training is teaching your dog how to live and socialize into your home environment, which means training is 24 hours a day. So my suggestion is normally to say is this. You should always have your dog on a leash to guide them through the proper things until they learn the rules of your home. The second thing was that they should not be out and about unless you are supervising them, because that's when they're going to learn that point. Sorry about the interruption. So yeah, Michelle wrote she'll give it a try, and she thinks it would be easier if she didn't have 2 dogs. The truth be told is you're probably, it is absolutely always things are easier when you have less dogs, obviously. But Michelle, work both of their name drills. I'm telling you, it works magnificently. The invisible dog drill was one of my first episodes of Dog Talk. So if you go back into our video library on our Facebook page, you can see one of the first episodes where we talked about the invisible dog. And you'd be shocked to find out how many people have wrote into me telling me how awesome the invisible dog thing works. And that will work for multiple dogs. So literally when your dog goes to do something, tell somebody to pet the invisible dog. You'll see both dogs literally go and fight for that. So anyway, going back into my sorry about that, guys. So yeah, I know I'm jumping all over the place tonight. All right, going back into non-interactive training is teaching them those socializing points. The other suggestion I always make is to hide treats throughout the home and change where the treats are. So then that way when your dog is doing wanted behavior, such as laying down, taking a nap, doing stuff like that, then that's when you want to throw or lob little treats over to them, so that way the treats get eaten from them and they repeat the behavior that you're looking for. 9 times out of 10, when I talk to homeowners, is that when their dogs are doing those wanted behaviors, laying down, sleeping, napping, they're not doing zoomies and being crazy, they tend to they just tend to ignore the dog. They creep around. Oh, shh, don't do nothing. The dog's gonna. That's when you want to reward the dog. That's when you want to show them those things. Thanks, Karen. Karen just wrote, Michelle, love the invisible dog thing. We'll try it. So there you go. So you have somebody else that's supporting the idea. I'm telling you, it's going to work. You're going to love it. What I'm going to ask everybody to do that does the invisible dog thing, please shoot me a video. Post it. Tag me in it, okay? At BLK9MD, okay? At BLK9MD. Tag you guys doing the invisible dog and watching your dog do it. What I'll do is I'll even do this. This is what we'll do. I got an idea. I'm going to give, we're going to do a little competition here. So if you guys go ahead, post videos, I want you to tag me in it. So tag at BLK9MD, hashtag invisible dog, okay? So tag me at BLK9MD, hashtag invisible dog, all right? We're going to shoot some videos. If I get 20 views, 20 people doing it, I will pick somebody out of it and literally give I'm going to send them lottery tickets or something. I'm going to send you a gift. I don't know what I'm going to send you, but I will send you a gift where we're going to do a competition. I don't know what you don't know yet. Maybe I'll send a lottery ticket. I don't know. I have to find out what I'm legally allowed to do here, so I'll find out. But I will do something because I really think the seeing people doing it real life, enjoying it, I think not only would it bring joy to everybody else, but it'll show how awesome of a drill this is. I did do a video of it once. And a lot of people called me thinking it was BS because of the fact that obviously being a dog trainer, they thought I trained a dog previously to do it, but I didn't. So that's why I want to have everybody else do it. So again, it's going to be at BLK9MD, hashtag invisible dog. All right. So now we got some interactive training. We got non-interactive training. And remember, your dog is habitual behaviors, okay? So we went over all these cool things, and I got 3 minutes left. So I wonder what I can cover. I'm going to cover my coquette. So I've been fiddling around with this little coquette thing here. It's backwards for a little bit. And I want to sign off with this little joke, but it's going to go, that's right, 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 that's right. Now, I bet you're all wondering why I kept repeating myself. Well, it simply is this. Because from now on, every time you hear that, you're going to hear my voice. And I bet you all just started to realize that kind of little bit of a trick. If you stay tuned to realize that I'm always there and I'm always going to work you the right way and teach you the skill set to get you advanced. Because we don't teach correction, we teach direction. And that's why you're all hearing in your mind as we continue to go through this show. Dog Talk is meant to teach everybody how awesome it is to work and be with your dog. It is also to show that we're all a community and we're all trying to build. If you're other dog trainers, pet groomers, boarding facilities, doggy daycares, pet supplies, pet nutritionists, anything to do with the pet industry, or if you own a business yourself, okay, and you are a pet-friendly business or you're just a pet lover, I would enjoy having you on the show because I guarantee you that you can help people that are watching this show. All you have to do is write a message to any of the Facebook pages that we are on. That is at BLK9MD, BLK9 Raleigh, BLK9 Puerto Rico, which is PR, BLK9 DOU, or the official MJ Solar. I would love to have you guys on the show. I would love to see how you guys can help people out in the pet industry and all the other dog lovers because we are all in this together. So we're going to keep doing Dog Talk, and we're going to keep having more and more guests come on and see how we can get more and more information out to you guys so that everybody can have a strong, loving bond with their dog, and we can keep effective dog training made fun and easy. And real quick, I have to give myself a plug, but tomorrow morning, if you follow me on the official MJ Solar, which is the bottom of your screen, at 8:30 in the morning, I will be doing my weekly Stuck in a Truck episode, and I can't wait to discuss it because it's going to be a good, fun episode, motivating everybody to get through hump day and enjoy the rest of their week and keep moving on for some motivational thing. So I will see you all next week on Dog Talk if I don't see you tomorrow for Stuck in the Truck. Have a great night and enjoy your pups.